What's up, my meta-chasing malunga? This is Rob from Gay Guy Plays, and today on The Daily Grind, we're going to be taking our first look at update 27.2.0, but don't be fooled, this is not just another edition of Rob Reads You Shit that you don't want to read yourself. However, I did want to highlight a couple very interesting changes that will go with the topics we're going to cover, which is mainly going to be status effect changes, the arcane changes, you know, some of the hot button topics, and something a little bit fun at the end. Now, first and foremost, before we jump in, because I want to introduce a whole new meta to you. It's kind of crazy. I tested this out on stream with a whole bunch of people watching, and we found a consistent thread of something that was kind of nutso. But before we jump into the actual gameplay, I did want to go ahead and point out a couple things to you since we are going to be touching on status. But Blast change. So that's going to be a major thing there, because I was testing it out on stream and people were like, oh, well, Blast doesn't work anymore. Nope, it's because it's different. Grants the Blast status effect to a single target. Blast status reduces enemy accuracy by 30% at its base. Subsequent Blast status effects add 5% inaccuracy for 75 total at 10 stacks. So each blast status has a 6-second duration. So something completely different, which, to be honest with you, I kind of don't hate. As many of you guys know, Blast often knocked down targets, and what ended up happening is that we just wouldn't be able to land headshots, which to me is kind of like a sin. But now that it's inaccuracy, I kind of don't hate putting it on my builds. As we know, Corrosive did get a bit of a hit, and trust me, we'll see how much of a hit it goes. It starts off at 26% armor, then strips 6 more for each stack, leading up to 80%. I don't really think that the 80% is the issue. I think the efficacy at which it works kind of hurts. And it only lasts for 8 seconds, so definitely keep that in mind. The other thing that I wanted to point out is we do have new status effects for magnetic and viral. Viral, I really wanted to highlight. New status effect, entirely enhanced damage. First viral status effect deals 100% additional health damage. Subsequent viral status adds 25 for a total of 325%. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about was gas, because this one has changed a lot. The base duration of a gas status effect now matches slash for 6 seconds, but it no longer does AoE with forced poison status effect, resulting in poison dot for enemies in radius. Instead, it does AoE dot gas damage around the target. Now, as far as I'm aware, gas damage is not going to be bypassing shields this time around, so I know a lot of people were really big fans of that, but I did want to go ahead and give you a heads up. There was also a little bit of a tweak to Saren, which goes along with the whole viral thing. Only her first tick is going to force the viral status effect on enemies. The subsequent ticks will still get the bonus off of that, but she's not going to get like progressively more and more ticks, which will deal more and more damage. So definitely keep your eyes out for that. But I tested her out in the simulacrum, and honestly, she still feels like Saren is doing Saren things, right? In addition, the other thing that I wanted to point out here, which so gratefully somebody on stream pointed out to me, they've removed the 0.2 times 5 multiplier for elemental status effects, meaning that all elemental status effects are 4 times more likely. That is massive. Before, IPS would always take priority. Now they're kind of like evening out the playing field, and everything is getting a little bit of a touch. So definitely keep that in mind when we're taking a look at all of the things today. Now, I wanted to give you a little bit of a TLDR because, like, I honestly don't know how long this is going to last, whether it's going to get nerfed, but I wanted to show you something. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of the Mara Detron, still am, and right now I'm running it with Radiation and Viral. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to swap it up a little bit. We're going to start with how I originally had it, which was Radiation and Corrosive, or Blast and Corrosive, technically. So we're going to go ahead and jump on in, and in addition to that, one of the things that I did want to point out is, enemies are way less tanky than they were before, which kind of feels nice, but at the same time I'm like, yo, when you gonna give us some difficulty? So I'm gonna go ahead and hit this guy with headshots. As you can see, that was almost an entire clip. So Mara Detron was also known as one of the shotguns that hit that 100% status cap. But let's go ahead and take a look at that one more time just for like evening things out. Then we'll go ahead and swap it over to our viral, ooh, as you can see, it genuinely takes about a clip to take an enemy down with corrosive and blast right now. But let's go ahead and do a quick swap because this story is going to hold true for a lot of what's going on. We're going to go into viral and radiation. And really, the star of the show here is going to be radiation. Oh, not radiation, viral. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Oh my god. I hope you're paying attention still because that would have been terrible. That took half a clip. So either corrosive got nerfed to the point where it's just not as effective as it was before, or viral really is just that bitch. I'm just putting that out there. It just really feels like the way to go now. I mean, look at that. 3 shots. 3 shots. So less than half of the clip. So we've been playing around with a bunch of different weapons on stream, and honest to goodness, let's go ahead and load up our brack. And I've actually swapped over a lot of things from the original, because remember how we used to say, oh, we're gonna run with corrosive fire as the meta. Corrosive fire is now the meta. Oh wait, did I just put corrosive back on there? Wait, my bad. We're supposed to do ice, baby. Let's go ahead and toss that in. So wait. No, I wanted to show you the corrosive. Sorry, I'm a little bit all over the place because these changes have kind of thrown me for a loop, and I do have a little bit, to talk about it. We gotta say a couple things when it comes to this. But I'm currently running with corrosive and fire, which was the meta for the brack. And remember, when I was first testing out the Kuva brack, I was like, well, I played around with a bunch of different builds and they all seemed kind of okay. And then I put on fire corrosive and I was like, whoa, that's so good. Now, I mean, it's still solid. It's still really, really solid, right? That was really nice and intense. Let's run that back one more time so that you guys can see the performance on that. Still good. It's still feasible. However, I will say that right now, I'm feeling like viral is heavily outpacing corrosive. So again, like I said, I'm not sure if it's the fact that corrosive really feels like it got super nerfed, or because of the fact that viral is really, really strong. And this holds true to so many different weapons out there. So this is definitely the combination that I would have you keep your eyes out for. Feels kind of the same, to be honest with you, now with that specific loadout. But as you can see with the Maradetron, it really played a big part in it. And we'll go ahead and take a look at a couple other shotguns as well. There's one thing that I wanted to point out because, as you guys know, they did a shot per pellet change on shotguns. However, the Kuva Comb, because of the fact that it's a wind-up weapon, does not necessarily have that same feature. It doesn't necessarily show that. So you're going to get a crazy amount of status. It's going to say 306 there, but it's really not. As you can see, once again, I have changed things over into radiation viral. But you know what? Let's swap it over real quick. Oh my god, am I going to do this right? Am I going to do this right? I'm not going to do this right. I'm going to do this right. There you go. So we're going to start off with corrosive and blast. Again, I'm really thankful that blast is now an accuracy debuff. I love the fact that they're playing around with accuracy debuffs. So this is the way that it performs, and a lot of people were making note that if you watched my recent Kuva Comb video, it doesn't seem like it performed that well as opposed to its original. And by the way, the knockdown is from impact. That knockdown that you're getting is the impact proc, not the blast. But a lot of people were saying that they did not feel like this performed as well as it did in my video. But when we went ahead and swapped over to viral instead, oh my god, it felt so much freaking better. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. I hope that this isn't going to be one of those things where we tested it live on stream and everybody's like, oh my god, it's amazing. And then all of a sudden here, it's like not as good. No, that was pretty good. That was pretty freaking solid. So I do have to say that, and this is one of the things that I want to note. and it kind of frustrates me a little bit. I'm glad that DE did the health and armor scaling changes. I really, really am. But I feel like one of the things... Yo, we gonna invest in our Kuva combs, right? We gonna get a little comb action going on. So that's that. I'm sure that some people want me to test out other weapons. And if you guys have any questions about, you know, what weapons you want me to test out next, leave them in the comments and we'll go ahead and take a look at them. One of the ones I loved was Vacor Heck. I was using this, of course, with heating. No, I was using viral on this. I was using viral. No, wait, we gotta, okay, wait. We're gonna do it with viral heat first, but we tried this out with a little bit of slash too, and those slash rocks were like kind of insane. Not that they've done anything to slash. They haven't done anything to slash other than some visual changes. Whoo! But when viral goes off, viral goes off. Viral goes off. So that's your Vacor Heck. Again, it's hard because they've changed a lot of things at once, so it's hard to say, oh, is it because of the fact that viral is absolutely crazy, or is it because of the fact that enemies are genuinely weaker? As you can see there, I just swapped in Hunter's Munitions for Foya. We removed the Foya, and we put in some Hunter's Munitions actions. And yo, those slash procs are kind of nuts. I shot them twice. I mean, like, wow, wow, we will wow. So, either the health and armor nerfs for enemies are really, really good, or these status things are actually quite good as well. But as you can see, wow, just absolutely annihilated, and kind of like shows what an issue armor was before. So now you're going to be able to play with a couple other different things. Let's go ahead and take a look, because I haven't taken a look at the Tapirs Prime yet. And I know that that was kind of like the beacon of, like the what is it called? The shotgun status. We're good. I mean, we're good. It's good. It's good. It's good. Let's try that one more time. I'm only gonna do a single shot this time. I'm only gonna do a single shot. I'm only gonna do a single shot. Okay. I think you might need the extra stacking. I think you might need the extra stacking for the duplex. But all in all, I mean, still pretty gosh darn impressive. So I'm definitely giving that a thumbs up. The other thing that I wanted to go ahead and point out is, let me go ahead and load up the Kuva Brahma real quick for everybody who's thinking about the self-damage and wondering about the kind of like, what is it called? The range in which we're going to be, you know, potentially suffering. They did have a little bit of an issue with the fact that this does have a fall-off damage range. So if your accuracy isn't great, you're going to be hurting. But as you can see right there, that's about the range at which you kind of stagger and stun, right? So right there, you just get a little bit of a flinch, which is like, I feel like, oh, I didn't even get a flinch there. No flinch there. Wow, it went, that's a little bit necker, because I didn't really move. There's the flinch. So there's the flinch. And then right here should be the knockback. And just to keep in mind, they did that as an auto. I'm going to try to do. So that was, I believe that was basically me getting flung back. And that's the kind of like stagger. Let's see. I'm going to try to bullet jump out of it. Nope. So I think that maybe there are a couple. Let me try. Because I thought that they said that you would be able to double jump out of it. I guess maybe just at the very, very end of it. At the very, very end of it, you'll be able to. I guess maybe it just depends on the range. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at how the Kuva Brahma works with enemies. Let's try to aim, like, off-center. Is it still pretty? It's alright. Really, it looks like the damage, because I could, you know, lay into him a couple times and have that almost be that. It does look like it's struggling just a little bit due to its inaccuracy. But I don't know, I feel like maybe that's gonna be kind of okay as long as you're accurate with it. I think that's what DE is definitely trying to do. The last thing that I wanted to go ahead and toss out there real quick for those of you guys who are curious about this, Let's see if I can do a little bit of this. I have Arcane Energize on, and do note that it is 15 seconds. We tested this out on stream to see how much energy it would restore, and it was 200 at max rank. Now, personally, I kind of fault myself for this, because definitely in my video I put out there, I was like, 15 seconds is as far as I'm willing to go. If it's anything more than 15 seconds, I'm gonna be irritated. And they put it at 15 seconds, so maybe I should have bargained a little bit harder and said 10 seconds. But I will put it out there, 200 is not bad. 15 seconds is like right at the edge. However, what I will put out there is, this does cost us an extra arcane. Now for me, I've been around for a while, so I have arcanes just laying around to spare. It's not any kind of issue for me. But for the people out there who don't have all of the arcanes in the world, they're either going to have to go Eidolon hunt for it, pay for it via plat, whether it's in the market or, I guess that's the only place, just in the market. If you're going to, not in the market, I mean like trade chat market. Or they're going to have to participate in the upcoming event. And the thing that we don't know about the upcoming event is the costing. Right? And that's going to be critical. What is the costing? How much effort are we going to be putting into this event in order to get enough points for specific arcanes? Because I don't know if the arcanes are going to be ranked in tiers. I don't know what's going to happen with that. But for me, 10 seconds for that extra arcane would feel a lot better. We also played around with a couple different setups, and I know I'm going to be pulling out Chroma. Listen, from previous, we've played around with him, and legitimately, I had a build on him where basically you couldn't die. And unfortunately, that's just not the case. It did include stacking double graces. And double graces on Chroma, yo, way back in the day, that was the way to go. However, now we don't have the ability to double stack grace. Which means, because of the fact that it doesn't trigger regularly and doesn't necessarily keep you topped off regularly, you are definitely going to run into situations where you might just die. Right now, Grace is putting in the work though. When it does trigger, you're doing kind of good. But when it's not going off, and trust me, this is one of those things where we tested it out on stream, and on stream, it wasn't looking as good as this. But we were playing around with it, and I definitely did die several times. So for me, double grace is probably the only one that feels like it got a true nerf. I see right here, like Arcane Grace, pick up the pace. If we had double graces, it will be a little bit different. I mean, the build's still good though, I have to say. I build quite nicely. But I will say that when we had double grace, I would stay topped off basically the entire time, and I would never really have to worry about it. But that's the only place where I really feel like the arcanes took a hit. Also note, did you notice that I got knocked down and I didn't get back up again? I'm just putting it out there. That is one thing that you're going to have to notice. Some of the knockdowns now from enemies, you're not going to automatically get back up, which I find to be an interesting change. But, you know, now that I'm recording, single grace doesn't seem that bad, but definitely live on stream, I was dying several times with grace. And again, what was I going to say? And again, I'm not topped off like I used to be with Arcane, with double graces. Now I'm running Arcane Grace and Arcane Guardian. So just keep that in mind. I definitely think that the only major nerf was double grace. Arcane Energize definitely did get a nerf, but it's a nerf I can deal with. Also note, Arcane Energize, instant restore, so you don't have to worry about any of that with the channeling abilities. So these are my kind of like first looks and first concerns, but I'm going to leave things on a very positive note. There was a recent change to Mag, where her 2, the pull off of it would scale with power, So we're playing around with this on stream. Listen, I'm problematic for a reason. We were playing around with this on stream, and somebody pointed out, listen, if you drop the range on it, you get a nice tiny little bubble. But look at the little roller disco we have. And if you shoot it, they kind of all dance. Look at them just doing a little hop. Now, people were saying that there was an issue with this, mainly because of the fact that legitimately, And when they were playing with it, like in, you know, outside of the simulacrum, when they were playing with it outside of the simulacrum, they did find that their power strength was so high, it was whipping enemies out of the bubble. And I think that DE probably needs to really get a fix on that, but I mean, still entertaining. Still entertaining, right? And Mag's still a powerhouse, even more of a powerhouse now that she can take control of shield getting. I mean, can we do this without invincibility? Let's try that one more time, and that's the way that we're gonna go ahead and end this streamio. I needed to do that like 8 times. Hold on. Let's simulate a couple more enemies real quick. Let's do this. Put them in their little roller rink. Get my shields back. Get them jumping and hopping. Look at them. Look at them go. Look at the bounce. Little bounces. Oh, get my shields back. Look at them. Oh, like bouncing. So that's the way it's gonna go. I guess that's how the cookie crumbles. Regardless, that is our first look at some of the changes. If there is anything that you guys are in dire need to know about, please go ahead and leave that in the comments below, and I will go ahead and take a look at that. Oh my. A little bit later today, I also want to go ahead and take another look through the patch notes. A lot of them are redundant, things that you've heard before, but I do want to highlight some of the things that they have kind of subtly changed and snuck in there, whether good or bad. So that about does it for me for now. And as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.